Imagine walking into a room and feeling every eye turn toward you, as if you carry a secret magnet that pulls desire like a hidden current. The lights are low, a soft jazz hums in the background, and a confident smile slides across your face just as a hand brushes yours in a fleeting electric touch. "I've been waiting for you," you whisper, and the world seems to pause for a heartbeat. What if I told you that the most powerful moves in the dating game aren't taught in any textbook? In the next 10 minutes, you'll discover the hidden psychology behind the dark side of attraction, the tactics that make people want you, even before they realize why. Are you ready to step out of the ordinary and learn the rules of the seduction game that most people never see? I've spent the last 5 years studying social dynamics, from classic psychology to modern pickup research, and I've tested these techniques in real-world settings. When I talk about dark seduction, I'm not talking about manipulation or abuse. I'm talking about understanding the primal, subconscious triggers that drive desire and learning how to align yourself with those forces in an ethical way. We'll break down 3 core pillars: the shadow mindset, the power of controlled mystery, and the art of strategic vulnerability. By the end of this video, you'll have a concrete toolbox you can start applying tonight, and you'll know the ethical line you should never cross. The first pillar is the shadow mindset, the internal shift that turns you into a high-value, unpredictable presence. It starts with a self-perception shift. Imagine stepping into the role of an alpha shadow, someone who radiates confidence without slipping into arrogance. It's about seeing yourself as a person who is comfortable in his own skin, who knows his worth, and who doesn't need constant validation. The second element is emotional detachment. When you stay slightly aloof, you trigger the scarcity principle. The mind automatically values what it perceives as limited. A relaxed, slightly distant stance in a coffee shop, for example, makes the person across the table lean in, trying to close the gap you've subtly opened. The third component is nonverbal power. Your posture, eye contact, and micro-expressions are silent signals that scream dominance. A straight back, shoulders pulled slightly back, and a steady gaze that holds without staring create an aura of control that draws attention like a magnet. Now let's move into the second pillar, controlled mystery, the dark aura that keeps people guessing. The key here is strategic storytelling. Instead of spilling your entire life story, you share fragmented anecdotes that hint at depth without full disclosure. Think of dropping a line like, "I've been on a mission that changed everything," and then pausing. That pause is not empty. It's a weapon. The timing of disclosure follows a simple 3-2-1 rule. 3 facts, 2 questions, 1 secret. You start with 3 intriguing facts about yourself, then ask 2 probing questions that invite the other person to share, and finally reveal 1 secret that adds a layer of intrigue. The final ingredient is silence as a weapon. Purposeful pauses amplify tension and force the listener to fill the gaps with their own imagination, making the interaction far more memorable. When you watch someone's eyes widen after a cryptic line, you can see the magnetic pull in action.
If this is blowing your mind, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep exploring together.
If you're already feeling the shift, let's dive deeper into the third pillar, strategic vulnerability, where the paradox of weakness becomes a hidden strength. The first element of this game is what I call calculated weakness. You want to reveal a fragment of yourself that feels authentic, something that humanizes you without eroding the aura of authority you have built. Think of a small, relatable flaw, a habit of always ordering the same coffee, a quirky love for old-school video games, or a harmless fear of heights. When you mention that you get a little nervous before a big presentation, you're not exposing a crippling insecurity. You're offering a glimpse of a real person behind the confident exterior. That tiny crack invites curiosity, because people are wired to fill in the gaps. They start to wonder what else lies beneath the surface, and that curiosity fuels attraction. The second component is the reciprocity trigger. When you share a personal detail, even a modest one, you activate a social rule that compels the other person to respond in kind. It's an unwritten exchange. I opened up, now you can too. This doesn't mean you should launch into a monologue about childhood trauma. Instead, you sprinkle in a light anecdote that encourages the other party to mirror the level of intimacy.
For instance, after you say, I once got lost in a foreign city and ended up having the best street food dinner of my life. You can follow up with a gentle question.
What's the most unexpected adventure you've ever stumbled into? The answer you receive will likely be richer, more emotionally charged, and it deepens the connection in a way that feels natural rather than forced. The third and final piece of strategic vulnerability is boundary setting. Vulnerability without limits can quickly turn into oversharing, which erodes the mystery you've cultivated. The key is to pair each reveal with a clear, confident statement of what you value. After you share a personal story, you might add, "I'm comfortable talking about the fun stuff, but I keep the heavy stuff for when I really trust someone." This line does two things. It signals that you are selective about what you disclose, and it reinforces that you are still in control of the narrative. The other person senses that you are both open and guarded, a combination that is incredibly alluring because it mirrors the balance they themselves are seeking. Now that we've explored how to wield vulnerability as a strategic tool, let's move on to the final stage of the game, the end game, the moment where you translate the built tension into a concrete next step. This is where the push-pull finish comes into play. After you have established intrigue, mystery, and a measured level of intimacy, you want to deliver a subtle challenge that nudges the interaction forward. Imagine saying, "I bet you can't guess what my favorite hidden spot in the city is." This playful dare creates a gentle push, inviting the other person to engage in a light competition.
When they respond, you follow with a soft pull, perhaps a smile and a line like, "You're close, but I'll only reveal it over a coffee sometime."
The push-pull dynamic keeps the energy lively and prevents the conversation from stagnating, while also setting the stage for a future meeting. Anchoring the moment is another powerful technique. Humans are remarkably associative. They link sensory cues to emotions. By introducing a distinctive scent, a unique phrase, or even a specific gesture at the climax of your interaction, you create a mental bookmark that the other person will recall later. For example, you might lightly spritz a subtle citrus fragrance on your wrist just before you suggest meeting again, or you could end with a signature line such as, "Until the next mystery unfolds." Later, when they catch that scent or hear that phrase, their brain will automatically retrieve the excitement and intrigue you generated, reinforcing the desire to reconnect. Finally, you need an exit strategy that leaves the door open without appearing desperate. The goal is to exit the conversation on a high note, preserving the momentum you've built. A graceful exit might sound like, "I have to head out, but I've really enjoyed this. Let's pick up where we left off soon." This statement acknowledges the positive experience, signals that you have other commitments maintaining the scarcity principle, and offers a clear invitation for continuation. It's essential to keep the tone light, confident, and slightly detached, reinforcing the idea that you are a valuable presence who chooses when to engage. At this point, you have a full toolbox: the shadow mindset that reshapes how you present yourself, the controlled mystery that keeps people guessing, the strategic vulnerability that deepens connection, and the endgame techniques that turn intrigue into action. Remember, the power of these dark seduction techniques lies not in manipulation, but in understanding the subconscious cues that drive human desire. Use them responsibly, respect boundaries, and always aim for genuine connection.
If you've found these insights useful, let me know in the comments what part resonated most with you.
Did the idea of calculated weakness change how you think about opening up? Or perhaps the push-pull finish feels like the missing piece in your own interactions?
I'm curious to hear your thoughts, so drop a line below.
And, as we wrap up, if you're ready to keep sharpening your social skills and exploring the deeper layers of attraction, consider staying tuned for the next episode where we'll dissect the role of body language in high-stakes scenarios.
Your support helps keep this channel thriving, so if you enjoyed the content, give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might benefit.
Until then, keep playing the game with confidence, mystery, and authenticity. Remember, the real power lies in genuine curiosity and respect.
If this sparked something, share your thoughts below. What technique will you try first? And if you want more deep dives, hit that subscribe button and give a quick like.
Stay sharp, stay intriguing, and see you next time. Take care.